Yeah, I'm here with my good friend and our Director of Sales at Sandia Products, Mr. Al Martinez. We're going to be covering today our 12-gallon Sniper carpet extraction series. But before we get into the machines, Al, I know it was helpful for me when we talked about the functional knowledge that one would appreciate having with regard to the motors and the types of motors with regard to 2-stage and 3-stage. What's the difference? How does it work?
Essentially, you have next to you is a 2-stage motor. As you can see, it's slightly more compact, less height. The 2-stage motor gives you a little bit less vacuum than your 3-stage motor. So when you want extra vacuum, you want that extra lift, that's the motor to go with.
So basically, you've got a really sound power plant here, but if you want to take things to the next level and optimize power, you add another fan.
Exactly, exactly. And these are all, we use only Lam Amatec motors. So the best motors in the industry, just great, robust powerhouses for our machines.
Great. And what do we have here?
That's our heating element. It's an on-demand inline heating unit. So inside each unit that has heat, you would have this unit. And it's fantastic because you're not heating all the water, you're heating the water that you're using.
Well, I like the fact that it's always on demand. It's there when you need it, right up until the point that you add more water. That's great. All right, well, what we'll do is I'll set these aside and then let's take a look at the machines. But I think it's really important to know and understand what drives it, what's in the heart of the house.
Absolutely. Well, like all of the Sandia products, it's made out of the very durable, rugged, roto-molded plastic. These particular units have the beautiful granite finish on them. They're available in a multitude of colors if you choose to go into the private branding, and we'll cover that a little bit later. This particular unit is a 200 psi 2-stage motor, and again, rugged construction, durable, double-walled lid, so it's very solid. Solid powder-coated stainless steel rotary latches, easy to open.
Great accessibility. I mean, no equipment is designed like this. Fantastic.
Inside you have the motors we talked about. You have an inline filter for your water supply. Fantastic machines. Clean.
Now tell me about some of these hoses. I know there's some special aspects to them that make them much more high performance and last far longer than anybody else's.
Wire braided. The supply lines that are under pressure are 3,000 psi.
Wow.
Goodyear. Standard brass American fittings inside. So just a well thought out, well designed layout.
And very clean.
Very clean.
Thank you.
If we can turn it around to its side a little bit.
Okay. Allow me.
Great mobility. Again, the side of this, like on the 6 gallons, has this beautiful scallop design. It's not only for appearance, but also for durability, rigidity. As you can imagine, the amount of pressure that you're putting out on these machines, this actually helps the cavity stay
Well, what happens
stable.
with the vacuum is it creates a suck. And so you'll see with a lot of other extractors, you'll see variation in the sidewalls. Adds to wear and tear. And it also makes things move. Here we have absolute structural integrity. There's no variation. It's just plain solid. So that works really, really well.
Yep. Semi-pneumatic wheels in the back for quiet, smooth operation. Non-marring casters in the front, non-marring on the back.
I also like the size. Every once in a while you got to get over a threshold or steps. And it'll get you there with no problem at all. Also the issue of noise concern. If you're in a hospital going from point A to point B, very, very quiet. Or we work in a lot of hotels in our cleaning company back in Hawaii. And noise pollution is getting to be more and more of a concern. So people are far more sensitive now to not only fast and efficient, but quiet service.
Right. This is one of the air intakes on the machine. Unlike a lot of people that use the air inside the cavity, as you know, the heat in there is just incredible. We're actually drawing cool air right in over the motors. So it's a feature unique to Sandia.
Yeah. And what a simple solution.
So,
Spin around the back here.
Yep. Speaking of getting over steps, you have a step plate here. So all you do is put your foot on it, tip it back.
Great balance.
And it just goes right into the, right over a threshold or anything. Your dump is easy to use. It's protected by the housing of the machine itself.
Really smart that it's recessed. You don't want to know how many times as an end user I've broken off or had fractured or leaked one of these extended gate valves. So it's in an optimal position. It's elevated so that it can dump into a toilet with no issue. It's really well designed, and again, protected within the housing. Very smart engineering.
Yep. Made in the USA.
As all of our products.
Absolutely. This particular unit has heat, so you have 2 pigtails on the back. Very durable, rugged design. And these are great because you don't have to worry about lugging along a 25, 50-foot cable.
You carry the cord and you move the machine separately.
Yep.
The other thing I like is if you lose a cord or a cord is damaged, you can still replace it really quickly locally. You don't have to go back to a company. So that's a terrific feature as far as I'm concerned. As an end user, I like having my own interchangeable cords. Why 2? Why the pigtail?
You have one for heat and one for the vacuum pumps and motors.
So we have an issue with regard to power source. You want to make sure you don't overload your circuit. So
Yep.
with a 20 amp circuit,
you're good for your power supply, and then you want to plug into a separate 20 amp for your heater.
Now there's an operational feature that I think is extraordinary on these that will prevent long periods of looking for that breaker box in someone else's home or business.
Exactly.
Tell us what that is.
The switch itself, the heat switch, illuminates, and it's a steady on red when the unit is plugged into 2 separate breakers. If you're plugged into the same breaker, it will either flash or just not come on at all.
So in other words, you plug one in and you plug the other. If you got a hot red light, you're good to go. If there's any variation, if it flickers or it's not lighting up, time out, don't go any further. Do not turn the machine on. A lot of times people say, but I went to separate rooms. Say you can be in separate rooms and still be on the same breaker. So this is just a really great safety tool as far as I'm concerned.
The pressure gauge, because the machine is adjustable up to 200 psi in this instant, is an oil-filled gauge. So the oil is there for 2 reasons. One, to dissipate any moisture that may get in, but more importantly, it's to stabilize the needle. So if you can imagine, there's vibration that goes on when you're running that much power, and the oil in there helps you get a true reading on the gauge.
See, this is the kind of stuff that excites me about the way Sandia produces its products. You know, you check with Brand X, they don't have that. And it's not only what you see is what you get with Sandia, but fortunately what you don't see that you also get. Like, you know, a much higher quality, higher tech gauge. Well, that's in every aspect of this machine, much of which you'll discover after you've been using it for a while that, aha, that's why they do that. Now, we talked about a variable on our pressure. It's a great extractor for doing carpets, but think of it as a 12-gallon upholstery high volume machine as well. So when you're cleaning a carpet, you want the 200 psi on your pump. But when you're doing upholstery, you don't want to blow any stitching. You want to take it easy on distributing the moisture, the cleaning solution. So you might dial it down to 50 for upholstery, where you would go to 200 for the carpet. Please continue, you're doing a great job.
That pretty much covers the basics of the machine. We touched on earlier the private branding.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So it is available in an endless array of colors. Pick a color and we can produce. You can also mold your graphics into the unit.
Then tell us about the difference between a sticker and molded in graphic.
Molded in graphics with the roto-molded process are incredible. You can scratch them, you can try and take the branding off. It's not going anywhere.
It's kind of like the integrity of the machine. It's built to last, it's built into it. You take the private branding capacity, which, again, even if it's just your own company, we find that our team members in Hawaii Care and Cleaning, back in our contract cleaning company in Hawaii, take a lot of pride in having their company logo on there. And we know that when people like what they're using and they're proud of it, they tend to take much better care of it. So that, backed by Sandia's best warranty on the planet, makes for a terrific combination of a piece of equipment that's not only going to outproduce those of others, but will be part of an entire package where we're here to make you successful. So give it a try. I'm sure you'll find that it's by far the best, most advanced 12-gallon extractor series in the market. Thanks, Al.
Thank you.